Hi everyone. So today I'm actually going to be talking about um, things I looked at today. And this being very much economics. So get ready to hear about numbers, rates, how the economy works, all that good stuff. And so today I'm young. I'm a young person, right? I'm 26 years old. I'll soon be 27, and one thing, I've had trouble looking for jobs and looking at, well, basically on today I went on a quest on to figure out, okay, how to fix my situation, what can I do, and with that, because I'm someone who's very well studied, educated, I looked for information, I did research. And so basically I found online that, well, first I start with unemployment rates. Here I found the unemployment rate where I'm at is very considerably high, and I found that there are some cities uh, a few hours away, let's say 3 or 4 hours away, that I could move to where the unemployment rate is less. And why is that important? It's because it's just facts. Like if you have like 100,000 person applying to one job versus, let's say, 1,000 people applying to one job, you have a better chance if there's just 1,000 people applying. It's just common sense. So in that sense, a pure selfish point for me, that's just what would be best. Now, on top of that, I looked at this point, and one thing I did consider is youth unemployment. The very fact of young people that are unemployed, because there is a difference, and I wasn't really realizing that, seeing that difference there. But basically, the people who are young people like my age, they're more unemployed than the rest of the people. And that makes sense because they have less skills. We as a category have less skills because we've been less alive than people who are older, who are 30 or 40. And so when they go apply for that same job, they're not going to get it, of course, because you have someone who's more skills. And because of the financial crisis that happened in like 2010, that's what made things worse. And right now, um, in my city where I'm at, the youth unemployment rate is incredibly astronomically high, where if the entire city had that rate, the city would be already in a point of imploding, like bad things would be happening. Now, what does unemployment mean? Like, why is it important? I've played video games where you have cities and you build cities and you manage cities, and unemployment rate is one of those things you'd always watch out for, because if you have a city with way too many people unemployed, what happens? In the city, in the simulation, you have people turning to crime, because the very fact that people are unemployed means that they don't have an income, means they don't have a job, and what do they have to resort to? To crime. And so if you don't directly do to change, if you don't directly do something to change the situation where you help people become employed, then you have to employ police officers, because then police officers then go around and then they help get rid of crime, prevent crime. But those people are still unemployed, so all you do really is put them into prisons. And doing that route, which is an option in the city simulators that I play in video games, that route is more expensive. You waste more money. It's better to use that money to open up some sort of business or enterprise or some way that they get employed and provide a service and actually generate more income. Then, rather spending money in creating police officers and creating a justice system and creating prisons and then paying for that person to stay in prison the whole time. So many people don't realize that, but that's what unemployment really means. If unemployment rate goes too high, the city collapses. Money is stolen, things are destroyed, people are hurt. The system will implode and get destroyed. If you look at why did the Roman Empire uh, get destroyed, no foreign armies invaded it, no one else came to attack it. It just simply, for some reason unknown, let's say, vanished overnight, meaning people just died. The city fell apart. and no one knows why exactly, but it definitely wasn't from an outside source. It wasn't through an enemy attacking the city, burning it down, destroying it. It was by itself, you could say. And this unemployment thing would be one cause, meaning if people didn't have a source of income, people have a source of food, if people weren't able to get what they need, the whole thing falls apart. Same thing is happening right now in Venezuela. Um, so, so for me, on a very selfish point, I'm a young person. I don't have as many skills as someone who's older, and so naturally things are gonna be worse for me and other young people. And you have to consider the future. Like, what happens now when you have so many people, like 20%, of the young people's population don't have a job. They don't get any skills. They don't get any practice. What's their future going to be like? And then what happens when you go to that point where you have older people who then pass on or retire, and then who's going to be able to fill all those jobs now? Then you have a gap there of jobs, where suddenly you have to all of a sudden have all these jobs be filled because people are passing on, but young people weren't able to even practice skills sufficiently. And so right now you're creating like this whole gap where it's not like a natural transition. And not only that, like people then, if they have young people have free time, what can they do? Then they can resort to to crime, to drug use, to all sorts of different things. So it's definitely not a good situation. And on a pure selfish point, the best thing for me practically would be to move somewhere with low youth unemployment rate. Not just low unemployment rate, because if I look just for purely unemployment rate, not just, let's say, discriminated by age, not differentiated by age, then that's deceptive, because when you go to that city or that place to try to apply there, they're hiring more older people than young people, which means if they're not willing, or they need someone with more skills, or they're not willing to hire someone with less skills, which is my situation. Like if you see, oh, you only have 1 year experience or 2 years experience, when you have someone who's applying with 5 years or 10 years experience, and that's going to be a huge problem in the future. And for a pure selfish point of view, young people should just move to where young people are being hired, and that's the best thing you can really do as a point of just survival, as a point of just existing, because as long as you keep existing in your city, in your situation, your state, where they're just not hiring, and I guess the best way to put it, people like you, in your age, and your skills, and your whole thing. And this isn't something that's talked about. It's not something you find in the news. It's not something that your parents will understand. It's not something that people with skills and with life experience will understand, because they're not in your shoes. They don't know. But the numbers are there. I'm smart. I know my numbers. I know their statistics. I know how to work with that. And the research is there, all provided by, in this case, the United States, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. And I found only like 2 news articles on that subject when I googled that subject about youth unemployment rates. The rest of the articles, like 20 plus search results on the Google, were about other random things. So it's not something that's very popular, and that makes sense because we're young people. Who's gonna pay attention to young people? And we have a lack of experience where what do we know as much? So always attention is always on the adults, and of course you have situations then where if young people aren't getting employed, then the older people are getting employed, which means parents, and then parents then have to take care of their kids, and that is a bad situation. The economy doesn't really flourish. So right now, things are deceptively good, let's say, in the United States, and other places in the world as well. There's also other articles I saw in Europe as well. So, you have to see. So this is what I looked at today, and this is all research based, and this is me applying my practical skills of being able to work with information, do research, find the answer to the problem, which is what I've been facing, and try to understand the situation, because it's all understanding. It's not like a person's goodwill and intent will save the day, It's about understanding the numbers, the math, the situation, the environment. Same thing, you want to grow plants, you have to understand the environment, the situation, and once you understand what's causing the problems, then you can find solutions, which may involve moving. And throughout the history of mankind has always moved, migrated all across the world. They've always moved whenever they need to move, and the same thing that same thing is gonna seem to be my situation. So there's life. So there we go. That's what I looked at today, and hope you learned something new about the economy, the world, how things function and work, and yeah. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye.